Create a legal island, especially for foreign investors. Episode 10. The shortcut to attracting foreign investment to North Korea, special economic zones. Creating the miracle on the Taedong River. North Korea's Workers' Party can implement a market economy. While North Korea's political environment remains largely unchanged, overhauling the legal framework to introduce a market economy takes a considerable amount of time, more than 10 years. Special economic zones are highly suitable for attracting foreign investment, which is urgently needed for the transition and growth of the economic system. By institutionally separating them from other regions through the Special Zone Act, we will fully accept international arbitration exclusively within these zones first, ensuring that foreign investors can invest capital with confidence. This involves creating a legal island applicable only to foreign investors while maintaining the legal framework applicable to the political system and the general public. Furthermore, we will establish the Special Zone Act as a special law by granting it a status that takes precedence over general laws. By codifying the principle of non-interference, we will explicitly state in the legal text that the Special Zone Act and contracts take precedence over party guidelines or administrative orders regarding economic activities within the zones. By introducing a negative regulation system exclusively for special zones adopting a permitted except prohibited approach rather than a prohibited except permitted one, we will block political arbitrariness. North Korea is aware of the benefits of special economic zones and has enacted special laws, making numerous attempts over a long period. As of 2026, while laws exist for specific zones such as the Raison, Economic and Trade Zone Law enacted in 1993 and amended in 2010 and 2012, Sinuiju, Hwanggumpyeong, Wihwado, and the Kaesong Industrial Complex, there are persistent calls for the enactment of an integrated international standard, Special Economic Zone Law or Investment Guarantee Law. Existing laws aim to attract foreign investment while maintaining regime control, but their low effectiveness has resulted in minimal investment attraction. Let's summarize the key issues from the perspective of legislative reform. 1. Issues related to the protection of property rights and the guarantee of investment stability. This is the core issue. Under the North Korean Constitution, the principle is that the means of production are owned by the state or cooperatives. Therefore, the ownership, usage rights, and disposal rights of foreign investors or joint ventures remain uncertain. The risk of forced confiscation or nationalization, coupled with the lack of remedies in the event of contract non-fulfillment, are the biggest barriers. Although the current Raison law and other measures contain investment protection clauses, in reality, they are subject to change at any time based on the political judgment of the party and the state. As seen in past cases involving Chinese investors such as the Xiang Group, unfavorable rulings are frequent when disputes arise. The following are key points to consider when enacting the special law. The principle of just and immediate compensation in the event of compulsory expropriation must be codified to meet the standards of international investment agreements. Long-term land use rights of at least 50 years must be guaranteed, and renewal and transfer must be possible. When amending the law, the grandfathering clause must be applied to existing investors to include stability provisions at the level of bilateral investment treaties BITs. International arbitration mechanisms, such as ICSID and UNCITRAL, must be introduced for dispute resolution. 2. Issues regarding tax and tariff preferences and fiscal incentives. This is the contentious area. The duration and scope of tax reductions are unclear, and there is significant administrative arbitrariness in their actual application. Predictability is low due to dual pricing and corruption. Although provisions for the exemption of import and export duties and corporate tax reductions for the first 3 to 5 years are stipulated in the Raison Special Economic Zone and other areas, their effectiveness is low due to the priority given to national plans. The following are considerations for enacting a special act. The periods for corporate tax, income tax, and property tax reductions must be extended by at least 5 to 10 years, and clear criteria are required. Exemptions from customs duties and value-added tax on imported raw materials and equipment must be expanded. Transparent tax administration must be established to streamline tax calculation standards, payment procedures, and the appeals system. Foreign exchange controls must be eased to guarantee the free repatriation of foreign currency profits to the home country. 3. Issues related to labor legislation and human resource management. This is a critical and sensitive issue due to the nature of the North Korean regime. North Korean labor law is strongly rooted in socialist principles of employment security and state placement, which limits the autonomy of foreign companies regarding personnel, wages, and dismissal. Although separate labor regulations for foreign invested enterprises currently exist, corporate control is weak because wages for employed North Korean workers are paid to the state. The following are key points for enacting a special act. The authority of companies regarding personnel, wages, disciplinary actions, and dismissal must be expanded by applying exceptions to socialist labor laws. The free employment of foreign professional personnel must be permitted. An arbitration committee must be established as a mechanism for resolving labor disputes, and International Labor Organization ILO standards must be partially adopted. A gradual approach is appropriate when North Korea enacts new special laws for economic special zones or significantly amends existing laws. It should be applied on a trial basis, starting with existing special zones such as Rason and Sinuiju. The 3 major areas of property rights, taxation, and labor should be prioritized for overhaul. Initially, state control should be maintained while market elements are gradually expanded. Credibility should be enhanced through the participation of external experts, including legal specialists, from international organizations, South Korea, and China. If North Korea genuinely desires to attract investment, strengthening judicial independence, stabilizing currency and finance, and improving information flow must be pursued in parallel. Once the recognition of private property and the declaration of a transition to a capitalist market economy initiate reforms across the entire economic system, the credibility of the special laws will increase, and it will be more effective in accelerating the pace of attracting foreign investment. Next time, we will discuss the situation where a gradual approach to price liberalization is necessary when North Korea transitions to a market economy. Thank you.